It was a crisp autumn afternoon when Mia and Sara decided to explore the old mansion on Willow Lane. Everyone in town whispered about it. Strange noises, flickering lights at night, and people who went in but never came out the same. Of course, Mia and Sara didn't believe in ghosts. They were adventurous, thrill seekers who loved testing their courage. "Come on, Sara, it'll be fun," Mia said, adjusting her backpack. "It's just an old house." Nothing more, Sara hesitated. The mansion was enormous, abandoned for decades, with ivy crawling up its crumbling walls and windows clouded with dust. "I don't know. Everyone says this place is cursed." Mia laughed. "Cursed, haunted, whatever. We'll just check it out, take some photos, and leave." The gate creaked as they pushed it open. The wind whispered through the dead trees lining the property. Something about the place made Sara shiver, but Mia's excitement was contagious. They walked up the cracked stone path, finally reaching the massive oak doors. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay. The floorboards groaned under their feet, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling like ghostly decorations. Sunlight streamed through broken windows, casting eerie shadows across the faded wallpaper. "Wow, it's even creepier than I imagined," Sara said, nervously gripping her flashlight. "Perfect for photos," Mia replied. She snapped a few shots, the flash bouncing off the cracked mirrors lining the hallway. One mirror in particular caught Sara's eye. It was enormous, and though covered in dust, the reflection seemed sharper than reality. "Let's go upstairs," Mia said. "I want to see the bedrooms." The stairs creaked under their weight, echoing through the empty mansion. The upper floor was worse, peeling wallpaper, broken furniture, and a cold draft that made Sara pull her jacket tighter around herself. As they explored, strange things began to happen. Doors slammed shut behind them, though there was no wind. Footsteps echoed in the hallways where they were sure they were alone. Sara tried to convince herself it was just the house settling, but even Mia seemed slightly unnerved. "Did you hear that?" Sara whispered. "Hear what?" Mia replied, pretending to be brave. Footsteps, coming from the far end of the hallway, slowly, deliberately. They froze. The sound stopped. Then a soft whisper drifted through the air. "Leave, now." Sara's heart pounded. "Mia, we should go. This isn't funny anymore." Mia nodded reluctantly. "Okay, let's just finish exploring and leave." They entered a large bedroom at the end of the hall. The bed was covered in a thick layer of dust, and the curtains swayed as if moved by invisible hands. Sara noticed something odd. A small door in the corner of the room, half hidden behind a wardrobe. "Have you seen this?" she asked. Mia's curiosity outweighed fear. "Let's check it out." The door opened into a narrow hallway that didn't seem to exist on any of the mansion's floor plans. The air grew colder as they stepped inside. Shadows twisted unnaturally along the walls, and the floor beneath their feet seemed to pulse slightly, like the house was alive. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang. Sara screamed. Mia tried the knob. It wouldn't turn. They were trapped. "Calm down. There has to be another way out," Mia said, though her voice trembled. They walked down the hallway, which to stretch endlessly. The whispers grew louder, echoing from every corner. "You shouldn't be here. Leave. Stay with us." Sara clutched Mia's arm. "We need to find the stairs, or a window," but the hallway twisted and turned in impossible ways. Doors appeared where there had been walls, rooms shifted, and mirrors reflected things that weren't there. Figures standing just behind them, always disappearing when they turned around. Hours seemed to pass, though it could have been minutes. Hunger, fear, and exhaustion weighed heavily on them. At one point, Sara stumbled over something on the floor, a small, dusty journal. She opened it, and the entries made her skin crawl. The journal belonged to a girl named Evelyn, who had lived in the house decades ago. She had written about strange noises, shadows moving independently, and the feeling of being watched. The last entry ended abruptly. "They are here. They want me. I can't leave. I can hear them whispering from the walls." A sudden cold breeze slammed the door behind them. The hallway became darker, shadows deepening until the girls could barely see each other. Then they saw it. Figures emerging from the walls. Pale, twisted faces, eyes hollow, mouths stretched in silent screams. They advanced slowly, surrounding the girls. "Run!" Mia yelled. They sprinted down the hallway, hearts pounding, tripping over warped floorboards. The figures followed, whispering, taunting, surrounding them. Every door they tried led to another identical hallway. Escape seemed impossible. Then Sara remembered something Evelyn had written, the mirrors. She pulled Mia toward one, pointing frantically. She said, "Mirrors! She said the mirrors can trap them." Mia understood. Together they smashed one of the mirrors with a broken chair leg. The reflection rippled and the shadowy figures hissed in anger, recoiling from the shards. More mirrors shattered as they ran, and the house seemed to groan in fury. Finally, they reached the main hall. The front door loomed ahead. With a final push, they flung it open, spilling into the cold night air. The mansion behind them seemed to sigh, the shadows retreating. Outside, everything was normal again. The wind rustled the trees, and the moonlight revealed the familiar streets of Willow Lane. They didn't speak for a long time, simply walking away from the mansion, hearts still racing. "I don't ever want to go back there," Sara said, her voice shaking. "Agreed," Mia replied. "Never, ever." As they reached the safety of the town lights, the mansion on the hill seemed quiet, too quiet. But in one broken window, if you looked closely, it seemed a pale face was watching them, grinning. And somewhere inside, whispers began again. "We'll see you soon."